is. It's Monday, and I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to connect with you. And it is time for what we call the Monday Moment. I'm your host, be with you this morning. Hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. Let's jump right in. It's Monday, and here's a couple of things that have been on my mind that I want to share with you today. The first question I have for you is, what's your plan B? Now, I know, and I grew up in a world where you don't necessarily. I grew up. I had both sides, right? I had both sides, and so one side of the family says you need to have a plan B in case your A doesn't work. The other side of the family says there is no plan B. There's only the A. So here's what I want to talk about today. I'm not asking whether or not you fall on one side or the other. What I'm talking about is how life occurs and how you can set yourself up to win, right? So Monday, many of us are back at work ready to make it happen and are making it happen in our PJs, and some of us are in the office, and some of us are at home learning how to make it happen again. It's part of living, right? It just comes with the territory. Today, I want to just hit you with a couple good things to inspire you, to motivate you, and move you. Whether you're at work now, at home, or in the office, or wherever that might be, or if you're at home recreating your life, whatever that looks like, you need a plan B. Now, when I say plan B, I don't mean give up on your dream plan A. I'm gonna tell you right now, I am an actor, period, hands down. I am someone who speaks and travels and empowers people because that's what I do. That's who I am. That's what I've always wanted to do. And it's still going down. Some of it's going down through this channel right here. Some of it will pick back up just as soon as I can get back on planes and make it happen. But here's the thing, where I am in this moment right now, in this time, all of the things that I love to do require my presence, whether that's acting, being in front of a camera, communicating, setting lines, preparation. That's not really available right now. Yes, I have some auditions, we're getting prepped and ready for the future, but it's not happening right now. It's not generating right now. I also speak with a company and travel the world doing presentations and communication using acting skills. That's not happening right now. I also run a juice bar where I serve juices and help people get healthy. That's not happening right now. So the interesting space I find myself is, what is my plan B? Now check this out. I don't mean an alternative to who I am. I don't mean an alternative in case I don't make it. Out of the question. It's out of the question whether I make it or not. I've already made it. I'm already in the rooms for the big roles. I'm already in the space making it happen, and I am so grateful. I already have a real demo reel. I already have work under my belt. I already get checks for acting, but it's not happening right now. So what I began to recall is how I was raised and trained to create a system of flow that would give me a broader expanse so that I could do what I want to do. Many of you may or may not know, but in 2015, I left corporate. Let's be honest about it. I was laid off from corporate, which can happen to anybody, so I'm not even bothered by it. I'm just having fun with it. But in 2015, I was laid off from corporate. I have an IT background. I'm a consultant in that regard. I understand how to negotiate and how to be a liaison with businesses and customers and clients and testing and all that good stuff. That's part of my background, some of the stuff that I love to do. I got laid off in 2015, and I went inward at that point. I'd been trained, I'd been coached, I'd been mentored, I was taught to read books. My father modeled it for me. I watched it, watching his life, working for GM, Oldsmobile, getting laid off time after time, depending on how the economy was going or what they wanted to do with the business. But my father was steadfast. He always had a side income. He was always working on a business. Whether that business grew at times or shrank at times, I didn't always know because unfortunately we didn't have those conversations in great detail. But what I did know is that he maintained his mental mindset. His plan B was himself. He was always betting on himself. So he stayed sharp by reading books that kept his mind focused on what he was up to, the bigger picture. Why is that important? Because it didn't allow him to become depressed, discouraged, or disgruntled when things weren't working the way he thought they were with his day job. No, not at all. His plan B was himself. So in 2015, when I was laid off, I bet on me. For the first time in my life, I bet on me. And guess what? It wasn't all perfect. Steve Harvey talks about in his book Jump, which I didn't read. I've only heard the synopsis and the summary and heard him talk about it. He said, many of us are going to jump into what we should be doing, and we're going to fall and hit the rocks on the way down. And it's going to hurt. But you will never learn what you could have learned or achieve what's available for you without jumping. Now, I'm not asking you to jump today. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm just saying I jumped and it hurt like hell. Yes, I got my butt kicked. I worked in business. Business went under. Tried to pick it back up. I started coaching. Coaching was going great. Then somebody hacked my website, froze all my accounts and my income. I ran a juice bar. That was going great. Then COVID happened and that's not happening. Like, a lot of things have happened that were unfavorable. Unfavorable and unfathomable, because I had this plan of how things would go. It wasn't about whether I had a plan B. I was doing things that allowed me to focus on my plan A, acting and empowering people around the world. Period. Everything I did, I chose not to go back to corporate. I chose not to look for a traditional job anymore, and it hurt financially. But inwardly, I was developing, creating some of what you're starting to get now that's on the rise. The actor began to come out. The business person began to come out. The motivator began to come out. All those things pushing me closer to my plan A. But it wasn't easy. So why am I talking about having a plan B? Because you can. A lot of us are completely unaware of the options available to work on your plan A while also having a plan B. And I want to take this moment to remind you that you don't have to give up your dream, but you do have to step into a system that allows you to become the person you truly want to be. I remember in 2008, when this was taking place, when the recession was taking place, I heard about people committing suicide. I heard about people doing things that were out of character because their whole world was summed up in their job. One of the things I've talked about for the last few years that's frustrated the mess out of me is how we live in a Western society where our focus is our capitalistic income. I'm not against capitalism. Get that out your brain. I've got big dreams and things I want to do and have. That goes without saying. However, who I am is not wrapped up in any of it. And because of that, I'm able to have conversations like with my daughter that I had last fall on her way once she was in college. She says, Dad, actually I was talking to her. I was like, baby girl, I'm really proud of you. She's like, why, Dad? And I just started listing the reasons why I was super proud of her. Because I didn't want it to be an empty dialogue. And she said, Dad, I'm really proud of you too. And I'm like, so I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm on this journey where my income is not significant, and I'm connected to my community, relying on my community to create this new world that I want to be in, but I haven't arrived yet. So all this in my head, right? How in the world are you proud of me? Is what I'm thinking. So I'm like, okay, really? Why is that? She said, Dad, you may not have the money and all those things that you used to and you want to have, but some of my friends' parents do. They have everything they want. And one of my friends, they live in a mansion, but their siblings don't even talk to each other. She says, the other thing is, Dad, she said, you're here for me. They don't have time with their parents because their parents are always working, but you're actually available. Yo, I didn't tell y'all that one of my purest life goals was to be an excellent father, was to be present for my children so that they not only would have more than me, but inwardly more than me, so that they would have stature, stamina, resolve within themselves about what they're able and capable to do. And my job was to clear the pathway so that nothing got in their way, so they could become the people they want to be. And that's been happening. We have conversations that open my world into fatherhood and human to human that I cannot replace, that have changed and transformed me because I was available, because I valued community, because I valued who they are. It doesn't make me better than anyone else. But in that moment, my little girl said, Daddy, I'm really proud of you. You're there for me, and that matters to me. I darn near cried. I didn't, but I thought about it. So when I talk about a plan B, let's get back to that real quick, right? So that's my little side story about what I've been working on, what I'm up to. I'm not lost in this moment because I got displaced on some stuff. I picked up a plan B. Watch this real quick. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I want to share something that, if I can figure this out, I thought I could earlier. It'll be my first time doing it. All right. It's not clear. I don't see it. So I'm going to explain it to you. So if you never heard of the cash flow quadrant, you might want to look it up. Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book about it probably 15, 20 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was. He talks about an ES on one side, employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. Now, why am I bringing that up today? Because I know you have dreams and goals beyond how much money you can make at work. Because if it's about the money, I really can't help you. I'm probably not the guy you want to be following. But if it's about purpose and making a difference in this world, I'm your guy. We got to connect. Because on the ES, there's a couple things that I've learned: the employee and the self-employed. Over here on the ES side, there's a couple things you learn. As an employee, number one, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. However, if you are like the majority of Americans who don't know how to make money, it's a real problem. Here's why. They tell you when you're going to go to lunch. They tell you where you're going to live. They tell you what car you're going to drive. They tell you what kind of vacations you're going to take, how long your vacation is going to be, and they tell you when you got to get back at work. They tell you that you're going to work overtime and you won't get paid extra, and you're going to continue to do that. Now, that doesn't mean something's wrong with corporate America. That's not what I'm saying. I'm giving you a reality check because some of you are in a reality check right now and income's not coming in anymore, or you don't know that if a second wave came around, you might not have the money to do what you want to do. Because in an employee-driven world, you're relying upon someone else to make it happen for you. Not bad. Not bad at all. Because I know some friends who've done extremely well in the employee category. Not because they're an employee, but because they understood their finances to the degree that they could make it work for them and make investments. But I know that many of us don't know how to do that. As a matter of fact, I was reading this morning, many celebrities right now are actually a few paychecks away from being broke. Yeah. Several NBA stars, I believe CJ McCollum was quoting, he said there's around at least 150 of them living paycheck to paycheck. So what I'm talking about is relatable to all of us. That's what I love about this moment, right? But then there's the S quadrant, the self-employed quadrant, right? The self-employed quadrant is also really cool because somehow we have this illusion, right? Like, it's cool because you get to do what you want to do and create your own business. But those of you who are self-employed, you understand what I'm talking about. It's got some luxuries, but it's also got some taxes on it. And I don't mean financial taxes. I mean emotional taxes. Because if you're not there, you don't make money. I have several friends who are professionals, dentists, doctors, lawyers, who work their arses off nonstop. They make good money, but the moment they're not there, they don't make money, right? Some of the business opportunities that I have right now that I told you about, I'm not making money from those things. Why? Because I'm not there. So it's cool, but basically the quadrant says I own a job. And you know what? It's true. I basically own a job. And whereas it seems cool because I get to go be dad, the fact of the matter is I got to get back to work because if I don't get back to work, I don't get paid. Nothing wrong with being a self-employed person. I'm going to continue to be one. As an actor, I'm a self-employed person, right? Like, so that's part of who I am. Touching the world and empowering people. That's part of who I am. So I'm going to always, to some extent, be a self-employed person. So it's nothing negative. And in fact, I'll probably be an employee. Contractor puts me back in a self-employed. What's up, Valerie and Carl? Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. But if we can somehow take that self-employed and transition it up to that B, business owner. Now, I got to get really clear with you. We were having a conversation last night about what a business owner is. Many people think I'm a business owner. Well, yes, I have a business, but if I'm not there or I'm not making sure it's taken care of, guess what? I don't make money. So that is not the business owner Mr. Kiyosaki was talking about. He's talking about a business owner, someone who doesn't have to be there ever, and it functions and makes money. Very distinct, very, very different. Ask some of these hairstylists out here right now who have empty pockets. They're business owners, yes, indeed, but not in the true sense of a business. So I'm working to create a business. Now, why did I bring this up? Because it's super important. Right now, we're in a time, a very unique time in the country, where you're forced to really look at what the heck is happening with your finances, and you can't avoid it because guess what? Bank accounts are getting lower, jobs are shrinking. Yeah, it's a real thing. Now, I'm not preaching doom or gloom. I'm saying this is some of the reality that we're facing. Now, watch this. As a business owner, there are many opportunities in the US. I'm going to share this nugget because I think it's super, super important. Network marketing, side sales, direct sales, whatever you want to call it, whatever's in your world that's available to you, you might want to take a look at it. Here's why. I understand it looks like that's a hard task, a hard choice. I'm going to tell you this. No business owner owns a business just to own the business, period. But when they look at the employee side and the self-employed side and they see the limitations, owning a business makes perfect sense for anyone and everyone. It's like a no-brainer because everyone needs flexibility. Now, all of you know that you're supposed to have multiple streams of income, right? I have multiple streams. They're not gigantic yet, but I have multiple streams. But most of those streams are dead in the water. A business gives you the opportunity to create a system that works for itself. As a matter of fact, it's defined as a business that has a system that perpetuates itself. So those network marketing businesses or direct sales or whatever your friends have approached you with, you might want to take a look. It's not about the product. See, in America, we've gotten so cush, right? We go to our job, we get our check, we know we've gotten really comfortable having those 2-week vacations a year. We've gotten really comfortable driving the car we drive. We've gotten really comfortable living where we live. So much so that we've fallen asleep to what we actually wanted. We've gotten comfortable. So much so that we actually don't have time for the ones that we say we love. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Because people who are wealthy that have died, or people that have died, and they did the whole survey, you've read about it, you've heard about it, come on. When they asked them, if you could do life over, what's the one thing you would do? None of them said I'd work more hours. None of them said I would spend more time at the office. The overwhelming majority of them said they would spend more time with people that they love, doing things that they love. Well, a business opportunity gives you that possibility. Is it going to take some work? Duh, yeah. But I want to challenge you to open your mind to new possibilities. Because when I talk about a plan B, I'm not talking about letting go of your A. I'm talking specifically about a business that has a system that runs itself so that it makes money for you while you're away. So that it doesn't matter. I have friends right now. I was talking to one of my buddies yesterday. He's on the other side of the country. One of his bases is here. They were out of the country and they're going to go somewhere else. And he said, dude, now's the best time ever. He said, we're doing really good because the businesses are still functioning. And you know what? I applaud him. I applaud him because he's one of my guys who understood system, put it in place, and has the opportunity to be with his wife and raise his 2 children. He said, Keith, it's actually cheaper for me to not pay childcare in Chicago and to travel and be on the go during this time with my family. Now, they're not hopping place to place, but because they're young, because they're healthy, they're able to be a particular place for an extended period of time, a month or 2 or whatever it looks like. But they've been on the go since January. Imagine what that would have been like for you to just be with your family wherever they are, not blinking twice about where things are coming from. That's what a plan B, a business, offers you. I just want to share that. Like, you got to get that in your head. So anyway, really quick, the last major point on that is a good plan B will have a couple different things because it's different, I know. It'll have an opportunity for you to be educated. It's going to be super important, right? Because you have to change your mindset. We're so used to just go to work, get a check, come home. And now that things are shifting or getting tight, or like a lot of my friends on the Monday Moment several weeks ago are working more hours now at a time when they could be home with their family connected. It helps you develop a mindset to expand beyond what you've known. Because Whether you believe it or not, you've been conditioned to go to work, period. And when they're done with you, they're done with you. So you're going to have to expand your mind. You get to actually educate yourself and create a life that you actually enjoy living. Remember I told you about my father? How he had gotten laid off time after time working for the big three? But how he maintained a mindset that allowed him to parent and to connect because he was reading, because he developed himself as a person. When I talk about those B businesses, or when I talk about that network marketing business, you want to make sure that they have an educational system that develops you. It might develop you in a way that says understanding how to influence people will make you a better partner in your relationship. Understanding how people think will make you a better parent. You actually get to become a better person when you're starting a business because you have to develop beyond the constrained mindset you've been delivered. Man, y'all better stick with me because I'm giving you some knowledge here that can propel you to your next opportunity that will set you up for the rest of your life. The second thing that it will have is it will have a system that you can plug into. Because although many of those businesses, network marketing, direct sales type of things, start in the S quadrant, truly, self-employed, right? You want to get in one that has an opportunity that you can apply a set of tools, a set of circumstances, a set of rules to, that eventually the wheel will turn for itself. That's called smart. That's called opportunity. That's what my buddy has. They've created a system so that the wheel turns for itself. I remember when they didn't have that, but now they do. So look at that when you talk about your plan B. Just open your mind and see what might happen. And then the last quadrant is the I quadrant. That's the investors. People who know how to make money, make money. They know how to make a nickel, make a dollar. They know how to turn a dime into 15 cents and 15 cents into a dollar. They know how to do all of that. That's available information that you can learn about. But the cool part about having a business is having a business can teach you and put you in a position to play in the I quadrant. Now, why does any of this matter? Guys, I'm not talking about money right now. I'm actually talking about your plan A. All of this was about your plan B, I know. But the truth of it is really about your plan A. And I don't believe for one real minute that anybody's plan A was to grow up and get a job. Many of us have dropped our dreams. We've gotten comfortable. We've dropped our passions. We've gotten comfortable. I want to challenge you to wake the hell up. It's time to get moving again. This is the greatest opportunity we've had in a long time because we get to hit the reset button for many of us. Now's your opportunity to be your icon. Mr. Monday signing off. Have a fabulous week.